Hello, and welcome to Real Life, Real Women. Today, I am very excited to be presenting myself as an author, the author of The House of the Universe. And I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you, Sylvie, for being here with me, but also for accompanying me through this journey of bringing to life this book, The House of the Universe.
Well, it was such an honor, Sandy. And to see you at the beginning and to see you now, it makes my heart sing. Really, to see the blooming, the flourishing, and the joy that emanates from you now.
Oh, thank you. And that's kind of why we're exchanging today. Sylvie and I received the inspiration to introduce a bit more of the backstory of how this book came to be. And a lot of it has to do with the journey that I experienced over the last, I would say, 7 years. So when I first met Sylvie, I had basically pushed away writing completely, especially creative writing, because for me, when I was in CEGEP, I had been told by my the other editors that I was working with on the school paper, they had told me, you're a much better editor than you are a writer. So I bought into that and I thought, you know what, I'll never be the best, so I might as well just quit. And I did. I stopped writing completely. And then I met Sylvie. And Sylvie Olivier from Golden Heart Wisdom. And what you do, Sylvie, is you really are incredible because you assist people in reconnecting with what's already there. You really allow people to just kind of wash away and just allow all these different layers of protection that we've accumulated over the time. And you allow us to kind of reconnect to the essence of who we are and allow that to emanate. And that's really what I was able to do. And I remember clearly in one weekend, we had this beautiful weekend where we were a bunch of women, and you invited us to start writing something. Anything, I think. I don't even remember what the exercise was, but what I can say is that it felt like the floodgates just opened up, and all of a sudden I saw this story just kind of play out in my mind, and I just started writing what I was seeing. I wasn't trying to control or make up a story. I was just kind of decoding as it was coming through me and just writing. And I went to see you, and I love how you describe it when I come to see you. So maybe you'd like to share that part when I came to see you.
Yeah. So we gave 30 minutes to everyone to just allow what they were receiving to be written on a piece of paper. So it wasn't about a project specifically, but for you, this is how it came to life. And at the break, you came and see us, Bernard and I. You were so excited, sparkles were really literally flying out of your eyes. And you said, you know what, all the characters, they're so vibrant and alive. And we're just looking at you, and then you realize that you were in it. You were like literally in the movie, because for me, yes, it's a book, but the way that you describe everything, it's so vivid, vibrant. We really feel it and live it with you. So it's really obvious for me that it didn't come from the mind, because the mind has a certain way to express things that, yes, it makes sense, but it's not as vivid as when you really receive it from your heart and it's been decoded with your brain and you just wrote it. And you were so not only vibrant, but connected back to your heart.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. An
Yeah,
awesome experience. I will never forget your face. It was so beautiful.
But I remember it's like I reconnected with that passion that I had always had and I had brushed away, and being able to reconnect to that. And then every time I would sit and write, and I remember the first chapter wrote itself during a retreat that we had in St. Martin, where I just started writing. I was like, I don't know what the first chapter is going to be. And you said, well, just write whatever's there. And that's what I did. And sure enough, that was actually, it's not the first chapter anymore, but it was the first chapter for the longest time. And what's I think unique about this book versus many other books is that, yes, it's a complete fiction story, but it brings it shares a lot of the different topics that you will talk about through Golden Heart Wisdom. And it's, for me, it's so important to mention this. they're not topics where you're in your mind and you're like, okay, I got to learn this and I've got to analyze that. And, I got to figure it out and this is what I need to do. No, the essence of everything that you guys do is to just allow us to reconnect to the love that's already present and to just, you've allowed me to dissolve the personality that I had created for myself as a defense mechanism to protect myself from the world and hopefully be loved. Whereas today, that's not at all what's present for me. It took me 7 years to be able to say, I'm an author, and to be able to really incarnate that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the assistance of you and Bernard and everything that you guys do. And so many of those topics are actually brought into the story without it being a teaching. You just kind of, I think as a reader or a spectator, you kind of live the story through the different characters and it assists you. And I think you're probably better off to explain that part than I am.
Well, what I remember about you, Sandy, it was really that you were always receiving the inspirations with so many characters, like superheroes. It was a running gag in the team because you would arrive and, yes, this superhero said this, or I just saw that. So we were laughing. And there was the good and the bad, right? The good guys and the bad guys. And all of a sudden, you refined the way that you were able to receive through the journey from the head to the heart. So, of course, we will talk about mental archives, crystallized emotions that we are talking about. And you don't use the same wording in the book, but it's really the same experience. And this is what's important. So someone can read the book, be completely immersed in it because we want to know more. And we are connecting with each character because it's either that it reminds ourselves or someone that we know. And we are making the journey with them. So coming back home, coming back to the heart without being so difficult. And, when you say it took me 7 years, it may seem long, but it's not. Because, you had one boy at that time, you had a second one, two businesses, a lot of other things happened during this period where you were calibrating and putting yourself on this new platform. So when you just said yes, the rest of it wrote by itself very quickly.
Yeah.
You had adjustments to make, of course, afterward, but the rest was written very quickly. Same with the editing. When you said yes, it took a few weeks and it was done.
Yep.
So this is the power of the heart and the power of this book, because it's fun, to just sit down, relax with a cup of tea or a coffee or something and just read and receive and experience and feel the sensations inside. So, as I said, you allow people to make their own journey from the head to the heart by reading the book. It's really beautiful.
Thank you. It was like you said, I was pregnant when with my first son when we first met. So yeah, it can seem like, oh my God, it took her 7 years to write the book, but no, my journey was a 7-year journey, and it's ongoing. I think it's always so fun to just always keep coming back to the heart, and life is so much lighter and every step of the way. But then, I had to get out of my own way also. And I had to really be ready to position myself as an author. Even when we first started, I was giggling because, it's still very new to me. But it's what I've always wanted as a child. I always dreamed of, writing books. I remember as soon as I was able to write, I was writing books, and it was, it's always kind of been present for me. And often we'll push away things that are easy for us because our mind tells us, well, it can't be that because it's too easy.
It's not worthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have such a very unique way of writing. We're all unique, but most of the time we learned to adapt, and to follow someone else's path to make sure that we know the right way of succeeding. Whereas when we come back to who we really are, our uniqueness, our unique gift is shining. And that was another topic for you to just be able to shine when you said, to get out of your own way. It's really to allow ourselves to be who we are without any any obstacles that we are putting just in front of us.
Yeah.
So now you are an author, you
Yeah.
are a mother, you are a wife, you are a human being, but beyond that, you are, you know, without adding some wordings after, you are this very special, unique essence. And you really came here to assist humanity through your writing and through other things as well. But the writing is very unique.
Thank you. And even that was part of the journey also, to kind of recognize that the writing is unique and it won't necessarily be unanimous. Not everyone's going to love it. And that, I, for the longest time, I was scared to, not please everybody or not be, so that was part of the journey as well. So, it's been just fantastic to be able to experience all of these different things. And so Sylvie and I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to have, these kinds of conversations together and talk about some of those themes that the characters are experiencing in the book, and have record these conversations that we'll have together, so that you guys can view them, and maybe it'll assist you in going even further in your exploration of the connection from head to heart.
Yes, yes. Yes, this is really great. And, usually when we're doing interviews like that, it's always for something about golden heart wisdom. And now it's really about real life, real women, about the house of the universe. And who knows where it will lead us, right? Because you are a pioneer in your writing, in your being, to choose the heart where it's not necessarily popular,
Mhm.
but always coming back to the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you. Like I said, to you and Bernard, I wouldn't be here without that. And some of the topics we'll be talking about, you mentioned them, crystallized emotions. We'll talk about, seeing life and experiencing it rather than, trying to manipulate or control it. There are special characters called perceptors, and that'll be actually the first topic that we'll talk about in our next conversation. What is a perceptor and what does it do to humans? And so lots of fun content coming. So stay tuned, and thank you for being here today. Thank you, Sylvie.
You're so welcome. Thank you.